Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So first of all, notice anything different? I meant to have this video up a lot sooner, and this was a lot shorter, but life happens and I just didn't find the time, and then I did do a video, but I felt like it wasn't the right time for that video, so here we are on this video. So yeah, I cut all my hair off. It is something that I've always wanted to do. Like, I've never liked having long hair, but it's just something that I was scared to do in my life before, or was, a little too worried about what other people would have thought. But now I've got a great support system in my life and just decided to go for it, and I absolutely love it. I think I like it at this length right here as it is right now. I mean, pretty sure I might be keeping it for a while. But I don't know, I change my mind with my hair all the time, so we'll see. But yeah, it was nice to do something that I've been scared to do, and it wasn't nearly as, I don't know the word I'm looking for here. I guess like difficult as I thought it would be. Like, not that it would be difficult, but I just thought, I don't know. I thought people might react in a different way than they did, but everybody seems to love it. And I also got some really great news. I got a new job that I was really hoping to get, and that means I will have a consistent schedule, Monday through Friday, and consistent hours. So hopefully that will help with me being able to get this stuff up on time when I say I'm gonna get it up. This video was supposed to be about being alone, but I did record that video, but the more I went through it, the more I realized it was more a video about my mental health journey, and I feel like I kind of need to talk about that and kind of give a little background there before we move forward with other videos. I mean, like, I did that quick introduction, but I want to get a little more in-depth with you and give you a better idea of who I am even more, and so I can get some ideas from you for things that you want to hear about and talk about. So I do want to start off with a warning for today that there will be some talk about suicide. I do not take that lightly, and I'm not trying to make light of that. I just, for some people that's a really sensitive topic, and if that is for you, then this may be a video that you want to skip. But if not, then let's get into it. I am gay, and I came out late in life. I mean, to me it was late in life. I mean, I guess it just depends on like what your time frame is. Like, for our current, like, where we are in the world and the times we're in, I feel like it was a little late, but I was 24. I struggled with it a lot because my family is, I wouldn't say like ridiculously religious, but they're pretty religious, and I knew that coming out would I would lose a lot of people in my life, people who meant a lot to me. But I had just gotten into a place in my life where I'd finally moved out of home. I was going to college. I actually think I'd taken a little bit of a break from college, but I was out on my own more. I had a roommate who was gay. She was my best friend, and like, seeing her navigate being gay and navigate faith just gave me kind of that push that I could do that, because I'd really just fallen into a pretty bad depression. Like, I'm really good at putting on a smile, but deep down, like, there was just this huge internal struggle of being the daughter, friend, granddaughter, sister that everybody thought that I was, and then this part of me that I was trying to hide, which after I came out, I realized that I hadn't hid it that well. There were a lot of people who were not surprised, but I actually came to a place where I did contemplate suicide, because then at least I could make it look like an accident, and everyone would just think that I was this perfect daughter that I was trying to be. But luckily I came to the decision that it would be worth it to come out, and I did. And it went about like I expected it to go. It was maybe a little more hurtful and a little harder to deal with than I thought it would be. I had a long time. I've always known that I'm gay. I mean, as long as I've been old enough to realize attraction and realize those sorts of things, and start talking about that stuff, I realized there's something, you know, off, something different, and I came to realize what that was. So I feel like I had time to think about what it would be like to lose those people in my life, but then like actually losing them was really hard. But I kind of made up for that loss of love by just immediately jumping into a relationship and doing the typical, not typical, because it's a stereotype that is, it's not the norm for all, but you hear about it, the whole lesbian U-Haul thing. And I did that, and there were some red flags there with that, but I just ignored them because I really needed to be loved and feel like I was loved unconditionally, because I had lost the people in my life who I had thought loved me unconditionally. So even though there were red flags there, I just ignored them. And that relationship actually lasted 7 years. We got married. I don't think that we should have gotten married. I don't think that our relationship should have lasted as long as it did. I think it did because I was really depressed. I didn't know who I was. I was just trying to live this fantasy life, and I know people who've known me for a long time and know me from that period of time would have thought that I was really happy, that we were really happy. And it's so easy to portray that in social media, but behind the scenes there was fighting, and just a lot of hiding what I really wanted, and giving up on dreams that I really wanted, and thinking that I had to settle. And I'm not trying to say anything mean or cruel about her. She's not a bad person. It's just, I just don't think that we were meant to be together. Like, we were meant for each other, if you believe in that. And I think that we were both insecure and both going through a lot of things, and there was solace in having that together, but it wasn't meant to be. And my communication wasn't as good as it needed to be for a relationship either. I mean, once I finally decided to leave, like, I literally went to work one day, got off work, and was like, I'm done and I'm leaving. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm proud of myself for finally doing that, because it took a long time to get there. But I wish I had communicated more. But I just didn't have that ability at that time. And so I left with nowhere to go. I had to go move in with my mom, and we didn't have the best relationship at that time. She accepted me for being gay, but like, we just had a rough relationship from when I was a kid. And you know, I kind of cut her out of my life because I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with it. It was kind of a pattern that I realized I had of running away from pain and sadness, or just like being really good at pretending that it wasn't there. Like I said, I mean, even before I came out and while I was in the relationship I was in, people commented all the time on how happy I was, what a happy person I was, because I was really good at wearing that mask, and I found joy in making others happy, but I didn't focus on that for me. And so that started a snowball of having to look at myself, because even though I was living with my mom, I didn't want to be there. So I spent a lot of time either at work or by myself. I had a really long car drive to and from work. I would go to this park after work because I didn't want to go home, because I was really depressed about where I was at financially and physically in my life. And I started hiking a lot. And I started picking up trash in places that I went, because I've always felt like this really deep connection to nature. And it just made me really sad to see like these beautiful places and people not taking care of them. So I started walking all the time, picking up trash, started hiking more and more, mostly just because I didn't want to be at home, because I was still working on my relationship with my mom, but also because I needed a distraction from being alone with myself in this tiny room. I'm so grateful to my mom for letting me stay with her. Like, I don't know what I would have done otherwise. I mean, I would have been homeless. But during that time, you know, I slowly started to realize that, like, I had a lot I needed to work on with myself. And I had never really dated around or anything like that. Like, I came out, got in a relationship, stuck with that. And so I tried that, and I wound up getting in a relationship with somebody who was a wonderful person. Love her to death still. As a friend now, though. Although we're really not friends anymore either. I don't know. It's just I think we both grew through being with each other. And I hope that she learned something from her time with me. I know I learned something from my time with her. It was something I didn't realize until much later, but it was, I really suck at communication. And I was trying to figure out how to fix that, still not realizing that I had like a lot of trauma and a lot of depression and a lot of sadness that I needed to deal with inside myself. And through all of that hurt, I ran again. I moved 3.5 hours away with somebody that I didn't know well enough, and I didn't know the circumstances well enough, and it was a dangerous living situation. It was a mentally abusive and verbally abusive place, and I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have the financial means to get out of that, and I was there for a year. But then the pandemic happened, and I was able to, I had 2 jobs at that time, and I was able to work one from home and then work one in person, and I was able to work a lot more hours because I wasn't having, like, I just had to get some stuff done for the day, and I was done with one job and I can go to the other. And that allowed me to save up money. Now, just before that, backtrack a little, I'm getting ahead of myself. I was really just super depressed, super depressed. I felt stuck. I felt like there was no way I was gonna get out of here. I felt like, you know, this divorce was supposed to help me, it was supposed to help me find me, it was supposed to help all these things, like life is magically gonna get better, and here I am in this place that like super sucks, and I can't get out of it, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I attempted suicide. And I'm not gonna go into the details of that, but it was unsuccessful, thank God. And I was forced to get help. I still didn't want it at that time because I just, like, I didn't need it, and I could fix this on my own, and I just need to read another book and meditate a little more and figure it out. And I was learning through those things, but like, I needed professional help. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with needing that. And I was forced to get that at that time. And at first I hated it. I didn't like my therapist. I didn't like what she had to say because she was blatantly honest with me and just told me what I needed to hear. And I was super luckily, I was super lucky enough to have insurance and be able to get that. I know a lot of people don't have that. There are a lot of other avenues to get help, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But started going with her, started seeing what I needed to do, started working harder at both jobs, saving up money, and trying to figure out a way to just get out of there. And I just, I truly believe that what you dwell on, what you think on, what you put your energy to is what you manifest in your life. And I just kept picturing myself being happy and healthy and being out of that environment, and somewhere beautiful, somewhere that, you know, filled my soul. And I didn't know what that would be. You know, I assumed it would be an apartment, you know, so whatever I could afford, being by myself and being in a pretty big city. It was expensive. And I was super lucky enough that I had a friend, coworker that I worked with, who, her and her husband lived full-time in a camper while they were saving up money to buy the house that they wanted, and found out that they were going to be having a little one. So they, you know, were looking into houses and found something, and she offered to let me rent and live in their camper. And it was this tiny itty bitty thing, but I went out there and visited, and it was just perfect. Like, it's not something that I necessarily thought would come along, but you know, like the whole van life thing was something that I followed, and like the freedom of that sounded really appealing, but of course it wasn't something that I could afford to do. So it was parked on a lot in a like little camper community thing, and I moved out there in May 1st of 2020, and that began the most successful part of my my journey with mental health. Like, you can help other people without having been like in a deep journey for a long period of time, because I've been in a mental health journey my whole life. I just started focusing on it more you know, in 2020 really. And like, I think living in that tiny space alone, it saved my life. It really did. It changed who I am as a person completely. Like, especially with the pandemic and being forced to like take a really hard look at myself. Like, I don't know if I ever told her that, but like her giving me the ability to live there, like, I wouldn't be who I am now. I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for that time, and I'm so grateful for that. But it was around that time that, you know, couldn't go see my therapist in person because of COVID, and the Zoom calls, it just wasn't working for me. Like, I just felt like we weren't connecting. I didn't feel like we were really getting anywhere, and I could feel that like depression kind of sitting back in again. And so the person that I had dated like right after my marriage, we were still friends and talking, and she was seeing a life coach and had been telling me about it, and I was like, man, that sounds really awesome. That sounds like something I'd really like to try. And so I just got on one of my Facebook like interest groups. I really love crystals and digging for them and rocks, and I had gotten into, you know, nature, homeopathy, reading about different religions, anyway, just all that stuff. And so I posted on there that I was looking for a life coach, and if anybody had any suggestions, and a lady reached out to me, and we started talking, and I felt like I got so much help with her. It was really great to talk with somebody who had a lot of the same like religious thoughts as I did, or I don't want to say religious, like spiritual, like same spiritual journey kind of interest. And it was super affordable. I paid her like, I think $20 or $25 a session, and if I couldn't pay it all at once, you know, we worked that out. So don't think that you have to have a ton of money and go see a professional therapist or something like that. Like, if you do, that's great. I did that. It worked for me. It was very helpful. But then I came to a path where I was looking for something more spiritual, something more grounding for me. And I really read and started researching a lot of different religions and beliefs, because like, I don't know, just learning is just an amazing thing to me, no matter what you're learning about. And I had always been taught one thing, and I just kind of wanted to see what else was out there. And so I started talking to her, you know, once a week, every other week, just kind of whenever I thought I needed that. And I started hiking again. I started doing like all the things I had loved again. The depression and excuses had taken away from me. And it was absolutely amazing. And my family started coming back into my life, and like just all these wonderful things started happening. And I think that the most important thing that started happening there was that I started loving myself. And like that sunshine that I had always had on the outside that other people had always seen, like I finally felt that on the inside. I felt that for myself. I believed in myself. I realized that other people's goals and dreams and ideas that they had for me, that I thought that that's what I needed to be and felt like a failure because I hadn't had, was not what I needed. Like, I am about to start a job that I'm super excited about, helping people, and it just really fulfills something inside me. And you know, I'm not gonna make the most money in the world, and I am not gonna have a lot of the things that other people equate to success, but for me it is a success, and it is something that I am super excited about and super passionate about. And I really feel like I manifested that by believing in myself and by trying to just reset the way my mind thinks from a negative to a positive, like trying to stop that just accepting things just because, and like just, I don't know, work to get out of that. So I am happier than I have ever been. I am more me than I have ever been. I am willing to share my story. I'm willing to talk about depression, suicide, mental health, just anxiety, just a lot of things. And I know that during that time of learning, I did things in a way that is contrary to the character of who I am. And I do regret that, because I hurt people that I never intended to hurt. And I removed myself from their lives because I thought I told myself that was the best thing for them. But really, honestly, it was the easy thing for me. And I didn't know that then. I didn't realize that then. I see it now. And I do regret that. And I hope that if any of those people see this, they know that like, it was never my intention to hurt anyone. But I did, and I take full responsibility for that hurt. And I do apologize, and I'm a totally different person now than I was then. And I wish them the very best. I hope that they're living wonderful, happy, prosperous lives. And I know that like I'm going to continue to grow, and I'm going to continue to change. And I really want to share that here with you. And I feel like this was a little bit of ramble, like a more in-depth view of me. I hope that you got something from it. And if you did, feel free to, drop a comment and let me know if there's something that I touched on that you want to hear more about, or something that you want to talk about, whether it be like ways that I changed the way that I talk to myself in my head, or because we all do, we all have that inner dialogue, or meditation practices, or spiritual views, or whatever. Like, just leave a comment and let me know. This is already way longer than I thought it would be, but I would like to end this by kind of just pulling an oracle card, or an affirmation card, some people call it. I just got this new deck that I absolutely love. It's super cute. So anyway, I thought that maybe this might be a cool thing that we could do at the end of each of these videos. So let's just see what's in the deck for me, for you, for us today. Oh, this is kind of cool. So we got creativity, which I think that hopefully will be a big part of this channel. And it says, follow your instincts. There is strong potential in something you are associated with or thinking about connecting to at the moment. Inspirations, ideas, and confirmations should be coming through. And this is also the start of something new that will have a lasting positive effect. A breakthrough is also indicated. So whatever you do, keep the momentum or restart it with any project or work or personal challenge you are currently undertaking. It is also a great time to immerse yourself in creativity and art, whether doing it yourself or being an appreciator or supporter. So I can't think of anything more perfect for the start of this channel, for the start of my upcoming new job, for the start of whatever you may be starting or thinking about starting. Just go for it. Go shave your hair off. Go pierce your nose. Go start a YouTube channel. Go hike a mountain. Like, whatever you want to do, it's time to get out there and do it. So come on, let's grow.